Good morning, everybody. Ryan Carpenter here with No BS Golf, presented by P45 Knuckle Down Golf. Had a heck of a day yesterday. Was real excited to get my friend Reagan, my former student, on, and he got to kind of give his experience, if you will, and those are important things to me. Hopefully, somebody out there can get a little insight as well, and there's a lot of ways to talk about. I talk about golf nonstop all day long. Had another great conversation with a fella that I met here locally recently, and so the experience and the understanding of what the whole thing is important. And I had a good question that popped up from it. Is when you don't have people you can talk to who have been through it, it's kind of hard to decipher all this information sometimes. And so one of the things that got brought up was, and that's what today's going to be about mostly, is the evaluation lesson. What is that? What does that mean? What's going on here? Well, this goes back to my days at Golf Tech, and ultimately, if I kind of think about more big picture than anything, the whole idea is this: in order to try to properly help you, it starts with having a conversation. I call it the conversation, really. I don't even call it the evaluation technically, but it's the easier way to do it. But before I ever look at a swing, a ball in the air, a putt, a chip, whatever, I don't want to see anything until I've had some time to talk with a player, find out what's going on. Tell me what's good, tell me what's bad, what's missing, as much information as possible. I need to understand where you're at, what are you bringing to the table right now. And then from that discussion, I can start to kind of decide, well, which route do we take here? Do we go to the course first? Do we run to the short game area first? Or, let's take a look at that swing, see what we got going on here. And then if we decide to go that route, and usually we do, because it's usually what's going on, then we try to connect the dots. Okay, got it. Now, what's the goal? You got to have a very specific goal in mind. And it doesn't have to be down to the itty-bitty detail, but the big picture is this: what's going to make you happy? If you could do something and achieve something that's sustainable for life, what would it be? Because so one thing I want everybody to learn from Reagan is, once he got past that first phase, so we have been working together. Well, technically we've been working together forever, but I mean, in terms of like real hardcore work to try to get him through all the way to the final level, and he was shooting for the moon, PGA Tour level, and he learned. It's hard. Anyhow, but from high school fella through college into post-college professional play, we were working on stuff. And so when you understand and think about it in terms of your next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years of golf, right? If you can just put in a good solid 6 months now to get to the point where you could realistically achieve the goals you want, once you're there, then it's there for life. I mean, yeah, there's tweaking that goes on for some players, or maybe you reestablish new goals. Some players will say, okay, well, I can't break 100. Let's break 100 first. Okay, great. Well, what are we working with? And then we figure it out. Well, it's going to be like 6 months of hard work. I hate to tell you that, but it's just the plain old truth. And so, but a player can, okay, well, let's work on that. Let's get back out afterwards. Then we'll do playing lesson. Then we'll do short game and all that good stuff. And all of a sudden, a year later, yeah, they're not just breaking 100. I mean, they're down to like 93s and 2s and 91s. And they're like, you know what? Let's start over. I want to go for 80 now. Great. All right, let's do it. We just got to get better at what you already learned, basically. Or refine it. Or fine-tune it. Make it better. I mean, you take two cars. You got a Yugo and you got a Ferrari. Well, they're both cars and they both operate just fine. It's just that Ferrari's tuned up. and can just woo, bye bye little car. So the base part of this evaluation is to establish an understanding that, look, whatever it is that's going on, let's get this done first. And when we can get past this phase, we're talking just more, at least compared to these big things, minor things later. Tweaking. Most of the time, I get calls or an email sent via, whatever, Hotmail, whatever, Gmail, I guess is whatever it is today. I don't know. It don't matter. And these players have been through it, and so we're really probably on the phone for a couple minutes when it comes to the actual golf stuff, and we're just tweaking it and saying, hey, you remember when we did this, back in the day, blah, blah, yeah. I want you to go out, I want you to set up a target line and a thing, and then I want you to see how many times and try this and see what it. Sure enough, it's usually the tweak they needed, and bam, they're off and running again. So, but to get there is the tricky part, getting through the evaluation lesson, getting through the first phase of development. So the evaluation is what's going on, what do you want to achieve? You have to have a goal in mind, otherwise we can't connect the dots. We can't figure out what has to take place. Once we have that in place, I know where you're at, I know what you want to do. Now we can get down to what's going on and break it down into the parts that matter and specifically related to what you're trying to achieve. And then after that, and I don't go full boat on that because it's a lot of information, even when we trim it down to the basics. And the whole point is to just give you the blueprint, but not, you're not going to master all that stuff in just a week or two. It's just not realistic. And so we're just trying to give you a plan. Do you want to do this plan? And that's the next big step. Do you want to do it? Anybody can do it. I already know that from experience. There's no doubt. Now, when we say that, okay, well, you're going to learn to turn and tilt and swing on plane and strike the ball and release and all this stuff. But the limitations are just how much you can get out of these key movements of the golf swing. In other words, John, who's 75, he can learn it, but he's not going to be able to do it at a high rate of speed where he's producing 330-yard drives. But boy, if we can get John tuned up and going pretty good, and he's hitting at like 230, that's pretty awesome. And that can be done by Mr. John 75. Easy. That ain't hard. So, it's the details in the output that are going to be the difference. But if he has a highly consistent, skilled golf swing with great movement and positioning and all the stuff we talk about, he can achieve some really good results out there. So, but that's the key. What are we searching for? And so the plan is put in place. We start to work on the first thing in that day, day one. And then post-evaluation, because I don't have time on the spot, I go back home, I pull up all these images, and I start breaking them down, pick by pick, and I put them into emails, and I put lots of typing and notes, and here's what's going on, remember this, well, this, and eventually we'll get to this, and then we'll get to that, and then we'll get to, and so I detail that plan for them as well. But the number one thing is to take the evaluation and then decide where do I want to be. And I probably, like always, I got to do always a better job. There's no way you're perfect every day, and you can always get better at this stuff. But, it's okay, we got to achieve your goals for sure. But depending upon what those goals might be, and depending upon what's happening, pardon me, throat, there's a different set of timelines for everybody, but the only thing I know for sure, and it's just like this article I got that I can share, and it's, for most players who find long-term, sustainable, significant change, so going from 100 to 90, going from 90 to 80, going from 80 to 70, whatever it might be. The typical things that occur is it's going to take about a year or two for most people because you don't have enough time during the week to work towards these goals. It's just plain and simple. If you can give up your job and work 40 hours a week towards golf, we're going to trim that down a ton. That's easy. Yeah. Oh, well, you can't quit your job. Oh, crap. Neither can I. So, But yeah, it's usually a year, two, and then we see the result, and then we move on if we decide to, or no, or not, either way. But it's just like Reagan said yesterday. He's still a great player, and compared to the masses out there playing just on the amateur level, shoot, man, they're not even close to him. So, somebody says money game, he's all in, and that's the stuff he learned way back. I mean, this goes back. I don't know, man. I'm so old. I got to thinking. I've been in the golf business for probably 30 dang years now. And anyways, I don't know. I met him probably roughly 15 years ago was the first time. So what he learned in that first year 15 years ago, it's everlasting. He's still capable of producing and swinging and doing the stuff that he spent so much time working on back then. And today's difference is that he can really apply. Most importantly, it helps him with his job. And people, I try to explain this all the time. Like, look, do it for your future, if anything. And they're like, you're talking about your future. I'm like, look, I can't begin to tell you how many people. I've had this scenario occur. Come into the evaluation lesson. This is the problem with this evaluation with this fella. This guy comes in and doesn't have a lot of details. And well, what's happening? I don't know. I'm bad. Okay, could you explain that just a little bit? Yeah, I missed it. Ball there, ball there. I just can't hit the ball. Oh, okay. So what's the goal? I have to play golf for work, and I can't look bad no more. I see. Okay. Well, we need to define that for one. So, and I go on about. But the problem with this player is they don't want it for themselves. It's not going to work. The first thing I tell this player is like, look, this is a lot of work, and it's not. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not easy. It takes some time. It's fun on the back end when we get past this, but it's work. You got to commit, and the only way to commit to something is you got to want it for yourself too, not just because you have to play golf for your job. That's not. I mean, you can get good at something, but you're not going to be passionate about it. You're not going to want it bad, and it's going to be hard, and I've been through this before. A lot of you guys don't put in the time, and we're in the Bay every week doing the same thing over and over again because we can't advance. And so they kind of make their decision, and we move on. But that's the thing. You got to want it. It's surprising to me still to the day how many people decide to be really involved with this whole golf thing, and they don't have a lot of goals, and they don't have a lot of drive to try to improve. And I don't know. To me, again, it's 30 years of being in the business now that basically probably skews that. And it's if I had the time and could, I'd be spending nothing but all day working on this whole thing. Sorry, throat. And boy, that'd be fun, right? It'd be fun for everybody. So. That is kind of the nutshell. But I want players to understand that the evaluation is the first step. It's the blueprint. It's how to get there. It's what needs to take place. It gives us the entire picture of the future. But that future can be different for everybody. And, when it comes to, stepping back from the game and doing some development for a while, I agree. Not fun. I'm not pretending like it ain't. But, we're not saying it's a year before you're playing golf again. It's just you're not going to see the massive change in your game in just the first 3 months. That's just not going to happen, unfortunately. I wish it could, but I mean, if we go work on some short game first and some playing lesson, and we start to just clean up some simple mistakes, yeah, sure, we might get a couple strokes. Here and there, yeah, that could happen. We might knock off 2 points on your basis for your index, and that's fine. But when you're talking about lowering a 10 full numbers, or 20 or 30, like we're going to talk to Trey here soon. I think it's on Sunday, and I'll tell you what. And I'd forgotten this. He came in as a teenager, I think, and. Same thing, play PGA Tour someday, maybe. Yeah, no, you won't. And, no, I mean, you could someday, maybe. But anyhow, he couldn't break 100, and we got him up to, I think he'll tell you Sunday. It's hard to keep track of everything. number one, number two on the team. I mean, he was one of the better players out there, and got a full. I think it. Well, again, I don't want to speak for him. He's going to speak on Sunday. He went. I know he played on the Creighton golf team. I'm pretty sure he did it all 4 years. But anyways, he'll find out. But anyways, he went from in like, again, 4 years, 3 years, couldn't break 100, and we got him on a collegiate golf team. So, and that was all him. He put in the work, and that's the most important thing too. After the evaluation, getting into the processes, everything else, it all comes down to you folks. I can't do the work for you. I wish I could. If you just take a step back and get through these, it's usually the first 3 months roughly. That's kind of the sticky time. If we can get through that, the quicker you get into the processes and the quicker you get into the flow of the first sets of lessons and how to start implementing and doing these things and changing and working and changing and working, the quicker and the better you do that, the quicker and the faster we get to where we want to be. Okay, now we have something new in our ball flight, in our tool box, if you will. We got a new tool finally. Ooh, we can go use it and go build something out there. Yes! The quicker y'all realize that, and the quicker you adapt and start getting in there and getting these things done, the quicker we get to that. So maybe it's not 6 months. Maybe it's 5. Maybe it's 4. Like, we don't know. But we're talking about a little amount of time compared to the entire big picture. What if you could go play in your 2 or 3 big events every summer? And, a couple times I got a third, and I got a fourth, and I got a second, but they're just sporadic. Nah, you're in contention every single time in your flight or, whatever. There's lots of different ways to describe it. The point is, it can be as simple as playing with your regular foursome every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. or whatever. Everybody's got their thing. And instead of like, no, I'll win a few bucks every once in a while, how about take the money home every time? How about just for the pride of your number? What happened to that? I'm surprised at that one. I don't hear it enough. How about the fact that you could someday say, I've been shooting, in the mid-70s for the last 15 years. But prior to that, shoot, it was 93, 84, 89, 97, 86, 97, 94, back and forth, all up and down that chart up there. Now I'm just mid-70s every time. What happened? Oh, well, I went through this process with Ryan. That's what they tell people, even back in KC today. No, I'm not there. Sorry, folks. I can help via, by the way, World Wide Web, okay? I can teach via FaceTime, Zoom, email me the videos, you name it. It's piece cake. But the point is, if you compare a 6-month time frame, right, to the rest of your golf life and what it could be, that's what we're talking about here, folks. Commit now. Get through the changes that are necessary. Develop a new capability. And then let's take that thing out and let's take it for a spin. Let's go. Let's run. Let's see what we got. And then at that point, it's all about just reevaluations if need to be. Deciding maybe tweak this, tweak that a little bit. It's all about refinement, basically. And then the sky's the limit. How far do you want to go with it? And that's where it gets fun. I think that's the hardest part is, we want to get players to that point. But I got to be realistic about it with them. And so that's the evaluation in a nutshell. It is the first step for a reason. We've got to be able to have that conversation. We've got to be able to figure out what's going on, what you want to do. Because without information, I can't even begin to tell you what the plan will be. Once the plan's in place, then you got to commit. How you commit, all that kind of stuff, that's up to you. But I pretty much say the same thing almost every lesson. It's like, look, get in as much time as you can. And I'd rather have it 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, 15 minutes here, instead of trying to do some long 3-hour cram session. No. That doesn't help nobody. A little bit of the time, all day or every day along the way better than nothing. And there's no such thing as too much, but there is such a thing as not enough. So, you do the math. Well, I did it 500 times this week. Shoot, if you can do another 500, it's even better. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's just... you're never going to stop working it. Well, let's put it this way. If you want to get good at this game, you're never going to stop working at it in some capacity. You may not be on the development side forever. Hopefully not. But you'll be on the preparation side, and that's where we want to get to. I want to get everybody to the preparation side. The preparation side is the more important side of practicing or spending your practice time. And so that's where we want to get to. The goal is to get to that phase. So anyhow, be sure to go back. I posted it last night, and I think it's live. I don't know. This YouTube stuff's kind of hard to figure out someday. It looks live. So be sure to go back, listen to Reagan, get a feel for what it was a brief one, and we'll have him back on. He's a great young fella. But go listen to his story. Go soak it in a little bit, and just the idea is you're not going to be him. That's not the purpose of that video. Y'all have different goals and different everything's. But he's just basically trying to explain what it was kind of like to go through and how it went, and and so on, and then it's basically a testimonial is what it really all comes down to, because around here, I don't have any students in this part of the world yet that have made it through the process. Just a handful that are just starting now. So it's going to be down the road for them. And we'll get something on. They don't have to come on YouTube, but we'll get to posting some information about some of these folks eventually. Oh, pardon me. Not enough dang coffee, I'll tell you. So that's the evaluation. Like always, comment section. When you don't have to be a student to contact me. I don't know how many times I have to, anyways, say this, but if you got a question, well, first of all, comment right here on YouTube. I'll see it. There's a little alarm thingy that, hey, somebody said something. Comment in the comment section. More importantly, smash the like button, subscribe, and share it. Let's get a conversation started. Also, even better, Twitter at P45KDG. Okay? And then email. Obviously, one of the better ways too. To reach out anytime. Email P45knuckledown golf@gmail.com. All one word. And for anyone who's taken the evaluation lesson as well, I've had 2 conversations with one fella post-evaluation lesson, because after the first conversation, there were still more things to talk about and discuss and try to figure out. That is important. I want people to reach back out. If you're not taking a lesson again, that's okay. I don't care about that. I want to answer questions. I want to clarify what we went through. The evaluation lesson, there's a lot of stuff in there. So reach out. And if you're not taking a lesson at all, you can take the evaluation lesson. It doesn't matter. Reach out, call, text, email, shoot a note in the sky via an airplane. I don't care how you do it. Reach out and talk. I'm always open to anybody. Doesn't matter what you've done or haven't done or nothing. The important part of being able to do this properly is we've got to have the door open to talk to y'all. And I'm ready to talk anytime you want. So throw me some questions, folks. But for today, coming up on, we got to get going. Real quick. Good luck out there. It's the Veterans Warhawks Touchdown Club. I'm still getting used to the area here, folks. And they're playing over at the old Southern Landings Golf Club this morning. They got a nice little, it's one of them scramble things. It's a fundraiser for the football team. For the football team. So they're playing this morning over there. I believe it's 9 a.m. So coming up on tea time, they got a little surprise this morning. So hope y'all appreciate that and maybe reach out at some point and we'll get you started. So, but good luck over there. Everybody have a good day. Hopefully the rain holds off. The dang rain. Of course, you set up a tournament and this dang weather starts to play with you. But anyways, as always, I am at www.thegolfpub.com. My partners there have got a great setup. You got to go see it and set up your evaluation lesson. By the way, right now, evaluations are free. So no better time than now to figure it out and see what the plan is. And then after that, you can decide when you want to actually go through with it. But I think that's about it for today. Smash, subscribe, share. Hit me up with questions. Most importantly, I'm trying to think. I think it's I don't I, by next week for sure. I'm gonna have another fella on. So, and then hopefully some more down the road. But for now, this is Ryan Carpenter with No BS Golf, presented by P45 Knuckle Down Golf. Take care, folks.